Wednesday, June the 12th. Lake level's about 917 and maybe an inch or two. They've been dropping it quite a bit, and it looks like they stopped it this morning. I don't know for how long, but they've slowed the generation down. Water temperature's anywhere from, when I just came off the water now, it's like 77, 78 degrees, so it's warmed up a bunch, you know. Looks like summertime finally got here, and it came all at once. And if it wasn't for the wind today, it'd been pretty hot and sticky out there today. But there's a lot changing in the fishing. You know, the shallow bite's not near as good as it was. The top water bite in the morning seems to be tailing off. You know, a lot of the shad were spawning, and the shad had been real active throughout the day, and that seems to be tailing off as well. There's still some big groups of shad first thing in the morning. You can see them around some boat docks and up on some shallow flats. So, you know, there's still a top water bite early, and if we get some clouds, you know, it may kind of hang around throughout the day, but I found it each day to be progressively not as good as it had been. And a lot of the fish that we were catching shallow out in front of the bushes, with this heat and the water temperature warming up, a lot of the fish are starting to move deeper. Now, I had some really great days. I mean, like yesterday, first thing in the morning, I think up to about 9:30, so we had 40 fish, about 8 or 9 keepers, about the same the day before. A lot of them were coming on a drop shot, Carolina rig, and football jig. Today, I really struggled. You know, went back to one of my primary areas where I've been catching them real good, and the fish were still there. You could watch them on the graph come up, and they'd pull the worm down a little bit, you know, the drop shot worm, or just bite the tail of it off. But we got very few bites. Like I say, the shad wasn't out there like it had been. When I got in today, I looked at the generation report, and it looked like about 7:30 this morning they shut the water down. So that's probably what affected my bite today, because they've been running water, you know, nonstop, 3 or 4 generators for about 2 weeks ever since it rained. So, you know, that may slow the bite down a little bit, but I think the fish were just used to that current moving over the points. But a lot of the drop shot fish, you know, like yesterday, they've been fairly shallow first thing in the morning, you know, anywhere from 18 to 22 feet. And then as the sun gets up, they've been, anywhere from about, 25 to some as deep as 30. And I've been fishing a lot of main lake, flat gravel points. And I'm starting to catch some fish also off the deeper submerged trees where we're setting in 50 or 60 foot, and the treetops are coming up to about 25 to 30. So as that water gets hotter, you know, there's more and more of them fish that have moved out of the shallows that are going to start setting up on these, kind of what we call structure areas, structure locations. Main lake flats and points, especially where a deep channel comes up against it. Some of them will be back in the creeks, in the deeper creeks out in front of boat docks. Sometimes on the shaded side of the boat docks. Some of them will be coming out of the timber that's around the docks. And what I've been doing, I've been putting a swivel on first. That helps eliminate a lot of the line twist. Then about 12 to 14 inches, and I'll put my hook and then my weight. And I've been using anywhere from a 1/4 ounce to a 3/8 weight. Just depends on the wind. If there's not much wind, I'll try to get by with a 1/4 ounce. I think you can feel the bites a little bit better. And there hasn't been very much of a bite. You know, a lot of times what I've been doing is going down to the bottom and then just coming up a couple feet, and about every 15 or 20 seconds just barely lifting the bait. And if you feel a little pressure, just jerk and keep on coming. What a lot of the fish are doing is they're biting it, grabbing a hold of it, and they're not going anywhere with it. So it's not like you feel them peck it or grab it and swim with it. They're just kind of grabbing it and holding on. So it's been a real subtle bite. A lot of different colored worms have been working for me. This is a little plum, and this is one that I've got a guy making for me, but Chompers makes one just about the same as this one. Also a watermelon red or watermelon candy flake will work. And Zoom has got some new worms out. It's called a Z-drop worm. And this little watermelon with purple. It seems like anything with that's green with a little purple is kind of hard to beat. The plum works good for me. I was in the James, the mouth of the James today, and the water's a little bit more stained up there. Plum seems to work a little bit better in that stained water. Now, I've also been catching some fish, something that works all summer long. I did it a couple days ago and actually caught a few fish on it this morning when I couldn't get the drop shot fish to go. We take a 1/2 ounce or 3/4 ounce white spoon. We'll get on a lot of these deep docks where it seems like it's got to have at least 30 or 40 feet of water out at the end of the dock. And we'll flip the shady sides of the dock and inside the stalls around the boat lifts and stuff. And usually on this technique, I like to use anywhere from 15 to 20 pound line because you're using a heavy bait, so there's no reason for light line. And I'm usually, the docks that seem to work best are the ones that have timber underneath them. So you will get the spoon stuck quite a bit. That's one of the reasons why I use heavy line. And also when you're flipping around them boat lifts, all the galvanized metal and stuff that's around them, a lot of times you got to get your bait on the back side of it, and that'll tear up light line. So I like to use, like I say, 15 to 20 pound line. But the fish will suspend anywhere from 10 feet down to about 25 or 30. So if I'm out over the deeper water, I'll flip the spoon out there and let my reel free spool for about 8 to 10 seconds. Then if I've got it hung over a boat lift or something, I'll just yo-yo the bait up and down. If that doesn't work, I'll make another pitch and let it go down a little bit deeper. When you start getting in around the stalls or beside the dock where it's anywhere from 32 to 25 foot, I'll let the spoon go all the way to the bottom and then jig it out of the stall or along parallel to the side of the dock. And, try to make sure that you want to key on the shaded side of the dock. Seems to work best. And it doesn't really seem to matter what spoon works. War Eagle's got a 7/8 ounce that works real well. This is a Hazy Daisy that I use. Bass Pro's got some. But I like to use a spoon that's got a swivel built into it. Because if you fish it for half a day doing this, your line will get a bunch of twist in it without the swivel. And I found that if you try to put a snap swivel on your line, that'll help, but a lot of times it makes it a little bit too long up here, and the hook tends to hook in the line when you're jigging it. So anyways, if you can find a spoon that's got the swivel built right into it, I find I have a lot better luck. Now, on those same areas that I've been drop shotting, we've also been football jigging and Carolina rig. And I'm throwing anywhere from a 5/8 to a 1/2 ounce pig sticker, but chompers will work well. A jewel jig will work well. And this is a green pumpkin purple, a watermelon candy, and what I'm using, which I use most of the time, is a Zoom speed craw for a trailer. Twin tail chompers will work good too. It's got a lot more action on the legs. And then also I've got a green pumpkin orange that's been working good. And basically I'm setting the boat in about 25 foot of water, or 25 to 30 if I'm on the side of the drop, and casting these things up to the top of the points, where it might be anywhere from 10 to 15 foot, and working down the side of the drop. Now that's going to be something these fish should start to be set up on, especially like up in the James River, up in the Kings, and up in Long Creek, where these creek channels come against these main lake flat gravel points. That water gets up into the 80s, and the fish are starting to get out there now. There just doesn't seem like there's a lot of them out there. You can catch 1 or 2 a point, and then it seems like you got to move on. But that should progressively get better. Yesterday afternoon, we got up into some bushes, and this was down by the dam where the water's pretty clear. But we caught several fish on a sweet beaver, a reaction renovation with a 5/16 ounce bullet weight, and also on a 3/8 ounce pig sticker jig, just flipping up towards the buckbrush and working back out. So we got, summertime's here, the boat traffic's getting to be a lot more. So if you get a chance to go out, get out early before the big boats get out. Till next week, good luck, good fishing.